In this video, we will talk about what types of work or activities do design engineers do in the industry as part of the product development system. So the most common activities are of course very common across all of the professions, engineering or non-engineering, like meetings, reviews, coordination, etc. So that is very common. We're not going to cover that. We're going to cover specific activities relating to the various phases of the product development process. So there are three main milestones in the product development process: the concept design, the detailed design, and the production phase. Concept design phase is when the product is being conceptualized, when it is not final as to what kind of design it will be. So conceptualization phase is when the concept development happens. So the design engineer will focus on developing concepts. It is a creative phase. We need to develop as many concepts as we can. Then evaluating those concepts, whether they meet the product requirements criteria, and then also doing the engineering analysis, which can vary from a basic math calculation or a design calculation to detailed simulations or even mathematical modeling. So concept development, engineering analysis, and then of course there is prototyping. So once the concepts are developed, we need to develop a proof of concept to make sure that it actually functions in the real world. So prototyping the concepts, that is a major step for the design engineers. So this is all in concept design phase. And then next is detailed design. Of course, this is a condensed milestones of the product development process. There are many more steps in between. But just to summarize and to get a flavor of what kind of activities do design engineers do, this should be sufficient. In the detailed design phase, there is issue resolution. So when the designs are being developed, they are being matured, they are prototyped and tested, there will be issues which will be coming up in the designs. They need to be resolved. So the design engineer has to resolve those issues to make sure that they are rectified and they solve the requirements. Then preparation of engineering drawings. So this will be at the fag end of the detailed design phase, when all of the designs are being finalized and all of the details and features of the various components which go into the design have been finalized, and we are making the engineering drawings for manufacturing. Working with suppliers, working with process engineering teams. So if the components are being designed and manufactured outside the OEM or original equipment manufacturer, then the design engineers have to work with suppliers to make sure that the designs or the finished components or parts which are coming from the suppliers are as per the design intent and specifications. Then design engineers should work with process engineering teams. So at the fag end of the detailed design phase, the designers work with the process engineering or manufacturing engineering team to set up the process. So once the design is completed, next step is to set up the manufacturing process and the manufacturing line based on that design. Then preparing documents like DFMEA, DVP. So DFMEA is a very important document which records the failures and also predicts the failures of a product. So it is a very important document which has to be prepared by design engineers, which basically documents the whole characteristics of the product as a whole. And DVPs are prepared as a result of the DFMEA. So DVPs are called as the design verification plans, and DFMEA is design failure mode effect analysis. So design verification plans are prepared based on the DFMEA, and they set up the test criteria for various tests which have to be performed on the designs. And then finally, the prototypes and testing is very much matured at the detailed design phase, and proving out the designs is happening at this phase. So the design engineers should work with the prototyping and the build teams to make sure that the designs have been proven out, the issues have been resolved. So during this phase, the design engineer is very much involved to make sure that the designs are as per the specifications which are required as per the product requirements, and they are durable, they are reliable, they are safe, and also they are manufacturable and ready for production. So that is the overview of the activities in the detailed design phase. And then of course in the production phase, once the production starts, the pilot production, so the detailed design ends at the design release. So once the design release happens, the design engineer then hands over the engineering design to the production team, who then starts manufacturing based on that. And then any changes on the final design release will have a great impact on the production. So all of the issues relating to manufacturing and assembly have to be sorted out before this final design release has happened. So this means that the prototyped products or prototyped machines which are there in production, they have to be tested for all of the manufacturing and assembly issues such that the easy production is happening and there is no issues in the manufacturing and assembly. So these are all the range of activities from the concept phase to the production phase. The design engineers are involved in all of the activities and making sure that the whole product development process goes smooth. Here is just a summary and a breakdown of the common activities of a design engineer. So in concept development phase, brainstorming, idea generation, developing new concepts. So it's a highly creative phase. So the design engineer has to keep on developing more and more ideas and increase the quality of the ideas being generated through various processes. And one of the main activities is also learning, reading from books, courses, and research. Because learning is a continuous process for a design engineer. The more we learn, the more knowledge we have, the better we will design products and the more comprehensive we can design the products for, because the product have to satisfy different requirements like durability, reliability, safety. So the more we know about the product, the more we can design it better. Then developing ideas for weight reduction, cost reduction. So weight reduction and cost reduction are two major activities which go parallelly to the product development, because of course the designs have to be efficient in terms of the environmental impact as well as the cost which are incurred by the designs. So these are ongoing activities for design engineers. And of course CAD modeling is a very common activity which is very commonly known as part of the concept development. Then issue resolution would be attending to issues. So if there is an issue in the testing of a part, then the design engineers go and attend the issues and find out what are the root causes and try to find out what is the mode of failure and rectify that mode of failure, create a remedy in the design. So that is issue resolution. Then design calculations, mathematical modeling in Excel. So these are different activities which we generally carry out as an engineer. So in our engineering studies, we solve the textbook problems. All of that has to be done within a certain context of a product. Let's say we are designing a structure which has to withstand a certain amount of load. Then we'll do a basic calculation based on the basics of mechanics of materials and whatever the related subjects are. Then we will go on to do a more elaborate simulation or analysis. So all of that has to be done by the design engineer at the initial stages. And detailed design phase is when the design engineers prepare the detailed drawings. So applying the GD&T and making sure that the drawing will convey the design intent to the manufacturing and the inspection teams. So that is a very important and very elaborate process and requires good amount of attention to detail for the design engineers. So making sure the parts from the supplier are as per the drawing. So that also has to be done. So for parts which are being designed and manufactured by suppliers, the design engineers of OEMs have to verify that and make sure it is as per the design intent. And also working with simulation teams. So as I've mentioned, engineering analysis is a big part of product development. So design engineers may not do the very detailed or a very fine level of analysis. Like for example, in the analysis of a car, that is the analysis for crash, analysis for NVH, or analysis for durability. So design engineers may not be experts in those various analysis domains. So they will work with the simulation teams who are experts in that and make sure that the design intent is protected and the design is passing the various criteria. And then at the end of the detailed design phase, the design engineers are responsible for design releases and engineering change management. So once a level of design has been reached, the designs have to be released for production. So that is called as the engineering design release. So any changes after that design release will be very difficult to incorporate, because the designs which have been released, based on that designs, the process, the manufacturing process, the assembly lines would be established. So after that, the engineering change management also has to be managed by the design engineers. And along with that, applying design for manufacturing and design for assembly principles along with suppliers and the process engineers. So it is always a teamwork, and the design engineers lead the activities in the detailed design phase. So in the modern product development setup, the cross-functional teams are very important. So design engineers work as a part of a team, which is called as a cross-functional team. As you can see over here, there are different functions. That is industrial designer, design engineer, engineering analyst or simulation experts, manufacturing engineers, costing engineers, validation engineers, prototyping and build engineers, production and quality engineers. So all of these work in a cross-functional team for different projects. So for project 1, project 2, project 3, project 4, So you can see over here in this diagram, we can understand the cross-functional setup. So depending on the function, these groups are separated. And when you bring one from each of those functions into another team, then it is called as a cross-functional team. So that is how the product development team is formed as a part of the cross-functional team. And the design engineer plays a very important role in the cross-functional team. So now let us go on to the domain-wise work. So considering the amount of products which are being manufactured today, there are thousands of different types of systems, different types of manufacturing processes, different technologies, and different ways of analysis of various designs. So the design engineer's work is generally divided into various domains, and these domains can be divided in different ways. As you can see over here, it can be divided based on system-wise domains. For example, in an automobile, there are different systems. That is the body system, that is the chassis system, that is the engine system or powertrain system. So design engineers work in their separate systems. They work separately, and then they work as a part of a cross-functional team in the whole product development effort. In another way, manufacturing wise domains can also be formed. So a design engineering team work only for sheet metal products. A design engineering team work only for plastic domain products. A design engineering team may work only for forging or casting type of products. So the manufacturing wise domain then get divided based on that. It can also be based on technology. Of course, technology can be different types. It also related to the system wise. So different types of technology may have different domains which are set up for the design engineers. But the most common activities like developing concepts, evaluating them, prototyping and testing, and doing the basic engineering calculations, which are of course from the fundamentals of engineering, all of that remains same across all of these domains. So the domains narrow down the scope of work to specialized areas under the larger systems engineering setups. So compartmentalization of skills and knowledge takes place over here in the domain wise work. So when you're working in separate domains, let's for example consider a design engineer working in a chassis and suspension design in the vehicle. So the design engineer, along with knowing the basic principles of design and manufacturing and materials, should also know the principles of vehicle dynamics, which are very important for designing suspension systems. So like that, there can be different domains. For example, in the automotive BIW or body domain, the design engineer has to be very good in terms of CAD design of surfaces. So BIW panels are basically designed using surface modeling. So the design engineers have to be very well versed in the surface modeling techniques. So like that, there are some skills and knowledge bases which are more important for specific domains as compared to others. So here are some examples of the various domains. This one is automotive system based. So that is a BIW design engineer, chassis design engineer, trims design engineer. So these are separate domains. Then there is a generic domain. For example, if there is a design engineer who only works on the structural components, so they are called as a frame design engineer. Then if there is a design engineer who only works for the mechanisms or moving components, so then they will be compartmentalized into that. Or if there is a design engineer who are only working on thermal systems, then they will only work towards that. And also there can be performance wise domains. So under automotive, we can have vehicle crash, vehicle durability, vehicle NVH. So design engineers who are specialized in designing vehicles for crash, those are the domains. So design engineers who are specialized in designing vehicles for durability, or design engineers who are specialized in designing vehicles for NVH. So in this way, there can be different categorizations of the domains. And manufacturing based, as we have already seen, sheet metal based design engineer, plastic based design engineer. So like this, there can be many different divisions, and the design engineers have to be aware about that. And of course, in the current compartmentalized industries, it is very important to know these specializations and to work towards them. Next, let us have a look at the difference between industrial designers and design engineers. So this is a very common point of confusion in design engineering aspirants, which I see, is that they're not able to differentiate between the two roles. So there is a difference here. Let us understand the difference. So any product which is designed for consumer use or human use has form and function. These two are the most basic elements for any design, any product which has been designed for human use. So there is a certain form to it and there is a certain function to it. Industrial designers work on the form, aesthetics and ergonomics of the product. Whereas engineers or design engineers work on making that product functional, making it work, making it manufacturable, making it safe, making it durable, and making it reliable. So there is a very acute distinction between the two. Industrial designers work on the form, work on the aesthetics and the ergonomics part, whereas design engineers work primarily on how it functions and how it will be made manufacturable, made durable, and made reliable. So that is the responsibility of the design engineers. So industrial designers, of course, along with form, there is function which is always attached to it. So their work is to integrate the looks with the function of the product. For example, if you see the car, the exteriors and interiors, the look of the car is fully designed by the industrial designers. So the design engineers do not have a role to play in that design. But once this exterior and interior look has been designed, then it will be passed over to the design engineers who then design the mechanicals or systems or electrical, electronic, mechanical, whatever the systems go inside the car. All of that is designed by the engineers, which is all covered up by this body shell and the exteriors and interiors of the vehicle, which is designed by the industrial designers. So the industrial designers integrate the looks with the function, and they involve and design for human product interactions. So wherever there is human product interactions, that is where industrial designers come into play. So UX and UI, which is called as a user experience and user interface. So in any product which is having high factor of user experience and user interface, industrial designers, or commonly known as designers, will be involved. And then the design engineers might work in the functionality, the durability and reliability part of the product. If you want to learn in more depth regarding the subjects in design engineering, you can refer to the courses which I am creating. So I am creating a knowledge platform which is specially aimed for design engineers to improve their ability to innovate. So that's the mission I'm working for, and I'm doing that through self-paced online courses which are ranging from mechanical design process, material selection, manufacturing process selection, sheet metal design, GD&T basics, advanced and application, basics of tolerance stack-ups, mechanism design, project-based courses, and even automotive engineering design-based courses like vehicle dynamics, automotive product development, and etc. You can access all of my 19 courses at an offer price in one single bundle. The link to that bundle is given in the description below. I hope this video has been educational to you, and thank you for watching. Bye.